r/NoSleep. Posted by u/Kevin_the_assistant1. I took a job as Dr. Wong's assistant and he had 6 weird rules. My name is Kevin. I was a full-time HR executive in a small real estate company. I was looking for more money so that I found a second job for the weekend. I found this job on my spam mailbox. I replied, then things got real. The title of the job was part-time assistant for Dr. Wong's counseling services and they required people who had experience in counseling, interviewing. My thought was, damn. I could take this job and it may be good for my profile. With no hesitation, I replied to the email with my resume. Later that night, a phone call wakes me up. On the other side, it was someone whose name was Wong talking. "Hi Kevin, did I wake you up in the middle of the night?" "Yes, but who is it?" Answer with my sleepy head. "My name is Wong, and I am calling you for your application for the assistant position. Can you come to my house on Saturday morning to discuss this?" Mr. Wong said. 8 a.m., Saturday, I will be on time. Quickly agreed to get back to sleep. Excellent. We are waiting for you Kevin, I will give you my address and email. Mr. Wong said, "Thank you sir, have a good night." I hang up. On Saturday, I drove to the address he gave me. It was a beautiful house. Mr. Wong and I had a great conversation, not an interview. Mr. Wong is an old Asian man with gray hair, PhD in psychology, religion and art. He said that I was suitable for the job and he thought the cat also liked me. I became his assistant. It's not about great money he promised me but curiosity. What kind of counseling could take place in this house? I had to work on Saturday, Sunday and one random night a week. He paid me $20/hour which was a good deal to me. My job was to welcome our customer, ask them a few questions before they met Dr. Wong in his office, the chamber. We agreed to call it a pre-counseling process. It was an easy as pie task for me. But nothing is too easy. Dr. Wong had 6 rules that I must follow. Here were his 6 rules, 6 rules of the assistant. 1. Always feed the dog and the cat at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. 2. Always greet a visitor before inviting them in. If they smile, give them the red cup. If they don't, get them the black cup. 3. Ensure that a visitor never run out of tea in the cup during the early counseling process. 4. Whenever the dog barked, gave him his toy. If he didn't stop, keep silent and waited for him to finish. 5. Whenever the cat played with a visitor, immediately took visitor to the chamber room. 6. The cat liked to walk around when a visitor arrives. Do not look for the cat at that time unless requested by the doctor. Those rules were weird but not too hard to follow. After reading his note for a while, I smiled and said, "We can be a good team Dr. Wong." "I hope so," he answered me with a wink. Woof woof, the dog suddenly barked and Dr. Wong quickly grabbed the toy beneath him, tossing it to the dog. "See? Just follow the rule and things are gonna be fine." He glanced at me. Woof woof woof, the dog won't stop. Why the D? My mouth was covered by Dr. Wong's left hand. I could feel the cold in my shoulder. It felt like someone with an extreme cold hand was on my shoulder. I wished I could stand up and run to the front door, but I couldn't move a single piece of my body. The dog was howling while Dr. Wong looked at his clock. There was something came along with the howl, like whispering. The whisper became more and more clearly. It was a voice of an old woman. "Take one thing in and take one thing out, nothing less, nothing more." When the dog stopped howling, everything went back to normal, the voice and the cold disappeared. "You see, Kevin, just follow the rule, right?" Dr. Wong asked. "Dr. Wong, what the hell was that?" I said, pitying. "Just a wind, Kevin. This house was designed to maintain the natural airflow. Are you scared by the wind?" He mocked me. "Dr. Wong, we should talk about my salary," I said. Dr. Wong agreed that I could have a bonus if something like that happened during my shift. Tomorrow would be my first day as an assistant. I will update later for you guys. Thank you. Tomorrow would be my first day as an assistant. I will update later for you guys. Thank you. Day 1. Today was my first day as an assistant, after arriving at Dr. Wong's house at 8 a.m. When I entered the house, Doc wasn't home, so dog and cat. "You are early." Dr. Wong came out of nowhere behind me with dog and cat. "Oh my god, you scared me, Doc," I said. "A visitor can arrive anytime, young man, better get ready." "Yes sir." I cleaned up the sofa and made some tea. After 10 minutes a car arrived in front of the house. I ran to the front door and looked over the window. There was a Cadillac outside and a woman there. The woman went to the front door and knocked. "Good morning, madam, please come in and have a seat." "What a lovely boy," "Is Wong home?" She smiled. "Of course he is." I walked her to the sofa that head to the kitchen. According to Rule 1, I must take her the red cup. I went back to the living room with the red cup and what I saw haunting me forever. She was eating her arm alive. I could see her mouth full of blood while chewing the flesh on her right arm leg. The smell of blood and meat came straight into my nose. I wanted to scream but something stuck in my mouth. Woof, the dog's barks brought me back to reality. Everything was normal. The lady was there, no harm, and the cat was crawling with her hand. Woof, I toss him his bone, and he stopped. "Why standing there, young man? Come here," she insisted. "You might want to come to Doc's room soon, madam, please. Follow me." With my trembling voice, I gave her the red cup, then led her to the chamber room. I knocked the door twice. "Good morning, my lady. Did Kevin bring you my homeland tea?" He opened the door. "Can't expect more, Mr. Wong. Now you have an assistant?" she said. "Too many things to do and not much time left, my lady," Doc answered with a smile. Before he closed the door, I stepped one foot in and asked, "Sir, if a visitor would come now, what should I do?" "Don't worry, Kevin, there will be no more today." He closed the door. I went back to the living room and the cat was sitting on the table. She is a black Maine Coon cat with the eye of the night. Right after I sat on the sofa, she jumped on my lap. Never had a chance to look at her this close. She was a beautiful black cat. Her eyes were so deep that you could get lost in it. Doc told me she was here at the moment he moved in this house 10 years ago. None of the neighbors knew who the owner was. He kept her because she is a good listener. I guess the cat must be thirsty, so I took her down and went to the kitchen. I poured hers and the dog's poo with water. When I went back to the living room, she disappeared. I wanted to find her, but Rule 6, so I placed her bone next to the dog and sat on the sofa waiting for Doc. Time seemed endlessly, so I wandered the living room. There was a book sheet on the left. That left wall was covered by thousands of books. There were many different kinds of books he kept in this living room, from knowledge to novels, even marathon books. I took one of the marathon books named Born to Run, One Thing We Have in Common. Why he did not talk about this. One other book stole my attention. The book had black cover and no side title. I know I shouldn't be that curious on my first day, but something tells me that I should take the book. Right after the moment my hand touched the book, something was behind me. It's just one sample of the Bible I got scammed from eBay. It was there to honor my stupidity and greed. "You want it?" It was Doc. I was scared the fuck out of it. I didn't sense he was there behind me. He took out the book and gave it to me. "Sorry, Doc, I know I shouldn't," I stuttered. "Never mention it. You can read all the books in this room. Some of them were written by ancient languages, if you can read them too. Tell me about this as a favor," he mocked me. "I can't. And thank you. Is the counseling good?" I asked. "Still fine by now, kid. Never expect anything good from the lady with an eating disorder." He headed back to the chamber. The next 3 hours passed by peacefully. The dog was sleeping all of the time and the cat showed up 2 times, once before the lady went out to the restroom and once after the counsel finished. Finally the counseling finished. The lady got out of the room with an apple in her hand. She was chewing it in her mouth and talked to me. "Thank you, Kevin. There wasn't a warm welcome like you before." She put $100 to the tips box on the table. "Madam, you don't need to," I said. "You deserved it, young man," she interrupted. "She liked you, kid. So what was the first day?" He laughed. I wanted to tell him about what I saw earlier, but I thought it wasn't a big deal. Maybe it was because I didn't sleep well last night. "It was good, sir. No rule was broken," I said. "We can count on you, Kevin," Doc said. Suddenly a strong wind flowed to the house. The dog woke up and Doc was spaced out. Doc, are you there?" I came to him. The wind was getting stronger and stronger. All the book fell to the ground and the window was shaking. Doc's eyes turned into black deep, and he couldn't listen to what I said. I shook him heavily but got no response. His mouth opened wide and screamed. "She didn't fulfill the deal and we do not like the liar, Wong." It wasn't Doc, it was something else. The scream was getting louder. "Take one thing in and take one thing out, nothing less, nothing more." The voice was coming back with the wind, whispering in my ears. I should find something belonging to the lady, maybe this would help. I saw the tip box and the $100 belonged to her. "Take this box, it was her property, it's just a mistake. Take this and go." I passed the box and screamed. The box burned into ash. "Brave voice, young man, until we see again." Everything went back to normal. Dr. Wong was exhausted. I helped him to get on the sofa. "Thank you, Kevin. What happened?" he asked. You were spaced out in someone's or something took your body. I answered. What color was my eyes? He asked. The deepest dark in the world, Doc. Now this time it wasn't the wind, Doc, I said. Sorry, Kevin, if that was the black eye, then we should thank any king of gods you believe we are here talking to each other. What did they say? I told him about what happened. He exhaled and told me to go home. We would talk about that on my third day at work. To be honest, Doc, I would like to reconsider my job here. That was a life-dangerous situation, man. Why should I work to face the paranormal activities that could kill me, Doc? I screamed at Doc. Sorry I dragged you on this, young man, but I had to. The lady had already fulfilled the deal, but I didn't give her gift to them. He answered. It was her watch, Kevin. It was Melissa, my dearest wife. I don't know why the lady had this. I had to. He gave me the watch. It was a rusty timepiece with a picture of Melissa inside the cover. You know what, Doc? I will clean up the mess then go back to my home. My shift today is over, I interrupted him. After we cleaned up the living room, I got back to my house. I didn't know if I should get back to that house next week. I should go to my mom's house, get some sleep and think about it tomorrow. I will update you guys with a new part if there was a new shift at Doc's house, or not just an edit of this part. Thank you.